In the stillness of your soul, there is a voice you've silenced. It whispers truths you've buried, fears you've masked, and desires you've denied. This voice is the shadow, the part of you that you pretend does not exist. Carl Jung called it the shadow self, the unconscious twin of your persona. It is the mirror you avoid, the darkness you fear, the chaos you suppress. But what if the very destiny you seek is shaped by the shadow you avoid? The journey to self-discovery begins not in light but in darkness. The shadow is not evil. It is the unacknowledged, the repressed, the forgotten. In the Psalms, David cries out, "Search me, O God, and know my heart. Test me and know my anxious thoughts." This is the plea of a soul willing to confront its shadow. To face the shadow is to descend into the depths of your being, to confront the parts of yourself you've exiled. It is the path of the warrior, the seeker, the pilgrim. The shadow reflects what you refuse to see. It holds your anger, your jealousy, your pride. But it also holds your creativity, your passion, your power. In Proverbs, it is written, "As a man thinks in his heart, so is he." Your shadow thoughts shape your reality, influence your choices, and determine your path. To deny the shadow is to live half a life. To embrace it is to become whole. To reclaim the forgotten kingdom within you. It is the union of light and darkness that forges a new destiny. The shadow you avoid is not an enemy but a guide. It is the voice that trembles beneath your breath, the silent scream behind your smile. It is the echo of your unlived life, calling you to step beyond the prison of the known. In the darkness you will find the roots of your power. For what you deny in yourself grows stronger in the dark. What you bury in your heart festers until it bursts forth in ways you cannot control. Like a seed that splits the earth, the shadow emerges to claim its rightful place. In the Psalms we are told, "Though I walk through the valley of the shadow of death, I will fear no evil." This valley is not merely a place of death but a realm of transformation. It is here, in the heart of darkness, that the alchemy of the soul begins. The valley of the shadow is where the old self dies and the new self is born. It is the crucible of individuation, where the fragmented pieces of your psyche are gathered and fused into wholeness. The ego fears the shadow. It clings to the familiar, to the masks that shield it from the abyss. It whispers lies of safety and control, telling you that the darkness is the enemy. But the ego does not understand that the shadow is the teacher, the initiator, the door to your true self. The ego seeks comfort, but the soul seeks growth. The ego builds walls, but the soul tears them down. The ego demands certainty, but the soul dances in the unknown. To embrace your shadow is to rebel against the tyranny of the ego. It is to refuse the prison of perfection and instead embrace the messy, raw, and beautiful truth of who you are. In Proverbs, wisdom cries aloud in the streets, but few are those who listen. So it is with the shadow. It calls from the depths, but many turn away, fearing its voice. Yet the voice of the shadow is the voice of your own becoming. This is the journey of individuation, the process by which the unconscious becomes conscious, by which the fragmented becomes whole. It is the journey of returning to yourself. The shadow is not a problem to be solved, but a partner to be integrated. It is the other side of your soul's coin, the night to your day. Only by embracing both can you know the fullness of your being. In the Psalms, David sings, "You have searched me, Lord, and you know me." This is not a song of condemnation but of acceptance, a recognition that all that you are, light and dark, is known and held. Individuation is not a destination but a way of being. It is the daily choice to face yourself, to meet your shadow with compassion, and to allow it to transform you. Pain is the price of transformation. The shadow you avoid holds the pain you refuse to feel. But pain is the forge of the soul, the sacred fire that burns away illusion and reveals the gold hidden within. Proverbs teaches that, as iron sharpens iron, so one person sharpens another. So too does the shadow sharpen the soul, testing it, refining it, and revealing its strength. Your destiny is shaped not by the light you show the world, but by the darkness you hide from it. The shadow you avoid is already at work in your life, shaping your relationships, your choices, your path. To walk the path of transformation is to bring the shadow into the light, to name it, to honor it, and to allow it to become a part of your wholeness. In the depths of the shadow lies the seed of awakening. It is the spark of divinity that waits for the courage of your embrace. The journey to the self is not a journey of denial, but of integration. It is the union of opposites, the marriage of darkness and light. It is the sacred dance of the soul in the temple of the heart. The Psalms remind us that the Lord is my light and my salvation. Whom shall I fear? This light is not the denial of darkness, but its transformation. It is the light that rises from within, forged in the fires of the shadow. The soul's awakening is not the end of the journey, but the beginning of a new way of being. A life lived in the fullness of your humanity and the glory of your divinity. The shadow you avoid is shaping your destiny. It is the unseen hand that guides your choices, the silent force that molds your fate. To become who you are meant to be, you must turn and face the shadow. You must gather the fragments of your soul and weave them into a tapestry of wholeness. The shadow is not the enemy of your destiny, it is its architect. It is the crucible in which the self is forged. In the Psalms, we are called to be still and know that I am God. In this stillness, in the embrace of your shadow, you will find the voice of the self, the voice of destiny. This is the journey of the soul. This is the path to your true self. This is the destiny that awaits you when you dare to face the shadow you avoid, no longer running from the darkness but walking alongside it, hand in hand. For in the acceptance of your shadow, you awaken to a deeper truth, that your destiny is not separate from your darkness, but rather it is illuminated by it. The shadow is the threshold you must cross to find the treasure of your soul. It is the dark forest in every fairy tale, the dragon's lair in every myth, the wilderness in every prophet's journey. It is the challenge that tests your faith, the riddle that unlocks your wisdom, the wound that births your strength. The Proverbs teach us that the fear of the Lord is the beginning of wisdom, and in this sacred fear, this awe, of the shadow's power lies the wisdom of integration. For the shadow is not to be slain, but to be understood, embraced, and transformed. Every pain you've denied, every shame you've hidden, every tear you've swallowed, these are the threads that weave the tapestry of your destiny. They are the cracks through which the light of grace can enter, revealing the gold hidden within your soul. And so the invitation stands before you, to walk into the darkness not as a victim, but as a pilgrim, to embrace your shadow not as an enemy, but as a guide. For the journey of individuation is the journey of wholeness, the journey of becoming who you truly are, not by rejecting what you fear, but by loving it into transformation. In the Psalms, we read, "Create in me a clean heart, O God, and renew a right spirit within me." This is not a prayer for purity by exclusion, but for integration by grace. It is the longing of the soul to be made whole, to be reconciled within itself. Your destiny waits beyond the mask of the persona, beyond the comfort of the known. It waits in the place where your light meets your darkness, where your weakness reveals your strength, where your tears wash away your illusions. This is the pilgrimage of the soul, to descend into the depths, to wrestle with your angels and demons, and to rise transformed. It is the path that leads from fragmentation to unity, from fear to love, from shadow to self. Your destiny is not a path of certainty, but a journey of faith, a trust that even in the darkness there is light, that even in the shadow there is grace, that even in the wound there is healing. Proverbs reminds us, "Trust in the Lord with all your heart, and lean not on your own understanding. In all your ways acknowledge him, and he will direct your paths." This is the wisdom of surrender, the wisdom of allowing the shadow to be your teacher, your mirror, your ally. In this surrender, you will find that your shadow is not the end of your story, but the beginning of a deeper, richer narrative. AI story where every wound becomes a doorway, every tear a river of grace, every darkness a canvas for the light of your soul. The union of shadow and self is the sacred marriage of the soul. It is the moment when you realize that you are both the darkness and the light, the pain and the healing, the question and the answer. It is the moment when you stop fighting yourself and start embracing yourself, when you no longer see the shadow as a threat but as a companion, a guide that leads you home. The Psalms sing of this homecoming. The Lord is my shepherd, I shall not want. He makes me lie down in green pastures. He leads me beside still waters. He restores my soul. This restoration is not found in denying your shadow, but in walking through it. It is the restoration that comes when you dare to stand naked before your own soul, unafraid of what you might find. Your destiny is not written in the stars. It is forged in the crucible of your own heart, shaped by the shadows you embrace and the light you allow to shine through them. So I ask you now, will you continue to avoid the shadow that shapes your destiny, or will you walk into its darkness with courage? Will you choose the comfort of half a life, or will you embrace the fullness of who you are? The choice is yours. To remain asleep to the shadow's influence, or to awaken to its wisdom. To remain a prisoner of your fears, or to rise as a sovereign of your own soul. In the Psalms we hear, I will fear no evil, for you are with me. This is not a promise of an easy path, but of a faithful companion on the journey. The shadow is not your enemy, it is your invitation. Your destiny is not in the avoidance of darkness, but in the embrace of its teachings. For in the shadow lies the treasure of your destiny, the gold of your soul, the crown of your becoming. Let the shadow shape your destiny, not by hiding from it, but by stepping into it with open arms. Let it refine you, awaken you, and call you home. For in the end, the destiny you seek is not out there. It is within you. It is born in the darkness you feared to face and revealed in the light you dared to carry. In the Psalms it is written, you are the light of the world. Become that light, not by denying your shadow, but by embracing it. Your destiny is waiting.